Sam Barber, thanks for the time. Went to Iowa last week, Northern Iowa and Iowa State, arguably a very tough road trip.
Yeah, it was a good competition, right? And I think like we talked about this last week, but both UNI and Iowa State came off from knocking off a top 4 ranked Oklahoma State and then a pretty good Oklahoma. So Iowa State after that came out and they were the 5th ranked team in the country. UNI popped back into the rankings. They've had UNI just has had like everybody, they've had mixed lineups, and they're starting to get to where they got, I think, the lineup that they're going to use at the Big 12s. And although they're ranked 22nd in the country, they're probably a little bit better than that. We had a little bit of adversity getting out there. Our flights were canceled to Iowa, and we flew into Minneapolis and used some great relationships. So shout out to Jamel Tidwell and Josh Bartlett for allowing us to come work out in the wrestling room, and got down to Cedar Falls a little bit late that night. Got up, went over to the Dan Gable National Museum, and again, another a grateful. We're grateful for Jim Miller and Kyle Klingman and Rebecca Roper for having us go over there. It's great for our guys to see the history of the sport, and then we go into West Gym, a packed West Gym, into a hostile environment, and the guys competed pretty hard. We got a little bit flat in some places, just some positions, and I think that cost us a little bit in some matches, but no doubt that we showed up and competed. Sam Wolf had a hard-fought win, and does it the way he does it the hard way. He just battles and fights. And Wyatt Hendrickson, got into a scrap and did a good job, responded well, and pushed himself. And I think it's good for him. I think it's obviously he's pretty talented, and he goes out and he kind of has some dominant matches. But we're going to have to prepare him to have some close matches and some tough matches as we get into the Big 12s and the NCAA championships. In kind of push him towards where he wants to be and where he can be on the NCAA podium. So UNI match, again, I think our guys, they always show up with great effort and they fight. That was consistent. Made some small adjustments, talked about what we experienced on that Friday night, and we drove over Friday night over to Ames and wrestled a pretty good Iowa State team. And I thought we kind of we showed up improved in those areas, and we wrestled a much tougher dual meet, and it showed. Right, we won 3 matches. We had 3 one-point matches. Coming down to the final seconds, Jared Van Vliet, right there. The official got a little bit too involved in the match, but he's right there with a top 10 guy in the country that's having a great success. And Trey Brisker had a good performance. Came up a little bit short, and I think Sam Wolf too got to wrestle one of another ranked opponent, and he's right there. So Giano, Fippen, and Wyatt Hendrickson. Got some wins for us. But I thought overall, I just number one, I talked to our team like, hey, what's your first reaction to adversity? And those guys knocked it out of the park. Like things didn't go as we planned. They adapted, they adjusted just like they have consistently. It was a tough competition with 2 ranked teams, and then finally it was a 2-day weigh-in, and the guys just really responded well and did a great job.
Yeah, good on their part. Some things going on here at Air Force Wrestling. Longtime coach Wayne Bachman. I know we want to give him a shout out, having some health issues at the moment.
Yeah, so coach is he's going through a little bit of a battle right now, and we're going to spend Friday night. We're just going to try and support him a little bit as he's going through this fight and pay a tribute to him. So if you're a fan of Coach Bachman, if you want to come out, we'll have a tribute to him on Friday night before the Wyoming duel and celebrate what he's done in our program and for the sport of wrestling and just kind of who he is as an individual. So he's an incredible leader in our program, done an amazing job, most successful the coach in the history of the program. So definitely want to say thank you and appreciate Coach Bachman, support him when he's going through this tough time. And then we got a great team in Wyoming, and it's a local regional rival. They're always hard-fought dual meets. I think it's going to be a great dual meet, and it's going to be some really good wrestling. We got a couple ranked matchups. I think you could see that would be good. It'll be competitive matches, hard fought. So it'll be a good night of Air Force Wrestling. Come out and support us if you can. We're doing Pack the House, so if any cadets are looking at this, we're going to get some free pizza for you, and try and make it a great environment for our guys to compete in.
That's Friday night at 7 p.m. in Clune Arena. You're also sending some other wrestlers up to Golden, is that right?
Yeah, we'll send some guys to Golden that aren't going to be going to California with us, but we head out to California as well, and we'll have national ranked Cal Poly, who's a real strong team right now. And we'll see those guys, and we'll see Cal Bakersfield as well. So 3 matches this weekend for the Falcons, and then everybody that's not part of those 3 matches will head to Golden, and they'll grow and develop and get ready for their opportunity in the Big 12 Conference in the future.
Do you see momentum building in Air Force Wrestling?
I think I think it's I think we got a good core committed group of guys, and I think we got some other guys that are trying to figure it out. So like, but I do think like the strength of your program and where you are, it's really about how do you go from the number one guy all the way down to the 35th guy. It's like, what does that look like? Is the 35th guy as committed as the number one guy or close to it? And I think we got a little bit of growth to do there. So I think we got a little bit of growth to do. It's hard, I get it, but it's I think there's a big difference in being a college wrestler, and then being on a collegiate wrestling team, and then being a successful college wrestler. And those two things are not the same, and they don't look the same. They don't happen the same way. So I think there's just some, we're going to continue to grow our young guys towards that. I think we got great examples in the leaders on our team of what that looks like. But it's something that, you've always got to, it's culture, right? And culture doesn't self-sustain. You always got to work and grow it. Sometimes it's uncomfortable to go through some of that evolution and growth. But I think there's just a big difference of like, hey, am I a college wrestler, or am I striving to be a successful college wrestler? And the big question, for us always is like, who are we being? Who are we becoming? Who are we becoming as a team? And like, who are we and who are we becoming as individuals, right? And that's the question you got to ask yourself every day, and that's the question we got to ask ourselves as a team. Like, who are we, all right, and who are we striving to become? And if you're better than the person you were yesterday, then you're moving in the right direction, and that's all we can really ask for. But who you are, who you're trying to become, important questions.
Yeah, most definitely. Well said. Coach Barber, thanks for the time. Good luck this weekend.
Appreciate it. Thanks.